Nice to meet you. I'm Eloise Farland. And I've got a super toxic family story to share with you. Before I start talking, please like and subscribe to Jazz Clown Productions. My family of 4 consists of my father Casper, mother Hazel, big sister Annette, and yours truly. My dad was a CEO of a multinational tech company. And my mom was a typical shopaholic housewife. Didn't I mention that she's a self-absorbed and narcissistic individual? Let me tell you about an incident that happened when I was 6. Dad usually picked me up from kindergarten. But he was out of town for a business trip, so Mom's supposed to take his place in that. The school day was over and I was waiting for her outside for a long while. But no one came. Then I started crying so hard, I literally gave myself a headache. Suddenly, one of the security guards comforted me. Before taking me to the principal's office, Principal O'Brien called my mom.
Hello, Mrs. Farland. This is Principal O'Brien. Your daughter's been waiting for you for like 2 hours, so pick her up ASAP.
And so, she did. When we got to the car, she started screaming at me the whole car ride, because I was ruining her and Annette's shopping spree.
You could at least wait until we're done. Why are you being so impatient, you stupid brat?
Yeah. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? What a huge embarrassment you are, Ellie.
Yeah, you tell her, princess.
Yes, ever since I was born, my mom hated me, with everything in her. So much so, that she goes on and on about it, every chance she got. If there's one thing she loves more than spending her husband's credit cards, that would be my golden child sister, Annette. And Dad always treated me like I'm invisible. In fact, he actually had fun neglecting me too. If he wanted another child, he preferred a boy, but instead, to his dismay, he had me. Years passed, and they hadn't changed at all. Nettie is 5 years older than me. And she finds great pleasure of using me as a stepping stone. They used to send away all their staff, just to get me to do all the chores in the house. If I do as much as say no to their requests, they beat me black and blue, before sending me to the attic, with nothing to eat. And in case you're asking, yes, Dad was all over Annette as well. She's the one with perfect grades, an exquisite sense of fashion. And she was a very social butterfly.
That's right. I'm better than Eloise in every possible way.
Mom and Dad gave her all the glitz and glamour she ever wanted. On the other hand, I was seen as an illegal immigrant. My grades were horrendous, I wear my sister's hand-me-downs, and I was a complete loner. So it's safe to say that I was the Cinderella of the family. I remember one time, I returned from school to see the fam wearing trendy clothes. I'm home. But, where are you 3 going?
If you must know, Nosy Nelly, we're going to my 15th annual office party.
OMG. That's amazing. I'll go change, and I'll be right down in a few minutes.
Hold it right there, cowgirl. Who says you're coming with us?
Yeah. People mustn't know that we have an ogre for a daughter.
We're only taking Annette. Compared to you, she's insanely gorgeous and sharp. And she'll be inheriting my empire when I retire or die. But you, however, are just a total waste of my time, energy, and space. So I suggest you to be a good girl and stay out of it.
I was speechless. It's true I wasn't that good at studies, but I was trying my best. I don't care about Dad's stupid company anyways, and God knows that Nettie is made for the role for Dad's successor. Another time, Annette brought her friends over. I was baking some sweets for them. But suddenly, one of her friends entered the kitchen. He waved to me, and I waved back. He grabbed the milkshake from the fridge, and went back to Annette's room. I was in her room, about to serve the cake. But then, she got off the bed and pushed me out of her room.
Hey, what the literal hell was that all about?
I don't know what you're talking about, Nets.
You stupid girl. Who gave a loser like you the right to meet my friends?
It's not my fault. One of your friends went into the kitchen and...
I don't give a flying plucky duck. Just shut up and get away. Lock yourself in the room and don't come out until further freaking notice. If I get made fun of for having a stupid, ugly, worthless junk pile of a sister who sucks at everything she does, Lord knows what I'll do to you.
I bursted into tears the minute I got into my room. Was that my mistake? Am I really that hideous? What should I do? I got it. I may not be as beautiful as Annette, but that doesn't mean that I'm stupid. I'll show everyone. From then on, I studied my behind off, 24/7, to improve myself. I even got a part-time job, to save up so I can move out of my parents' prison of a house. But on the other hand, Annette's behavior became even worse. She gets herself drunk in the morning. To start screaming matches with her colleagues every other day. Heck, she even went as far as to attack the poor innocent people. When the boss found out about her crummy behavior, she got sacked faster than she could say, "Wacko's wish." She goes out drinking and clubbing with her friends, every chance she got. She will often invite boys over, and make so much noise. Dads suddenly have doubts about Nettie, but because she's been spoiled all her life, she doesn't seem to care. Sometime later, I finally graduated high school. And on my 18th birthday, I finally moved out of that stinkin' hellhole. And you know what? The bullies celebrated my departure like there's no tomorrow. They didn't even bother to call or text me. I was left heartbroken, insecure, and lacking TLC. And I thought this would go on for the rest of my life. That is, until he showed up. During my lunch break, on my first day at my new job, I heard someone wolf whistle sharply, and exclaimed,
"Wow! Who's this beauty queen right in front of me?"
A kind and handsome man was staring at me, with love-filled eyes.
"Well, don't just stand there, honey, there is a seat next to me with your name on it."
We started chatting for a while, and I found out that his name is Oscar Dorsey. And when it comes to interests and hobbies, we have a lot in common. I was about to meet the Dorseys, but my insecurities were kicking in again. I was a hella nervous about the meet and greet dinner, but I hope everything goes hunky-dory. At 7:15 in the evening, Oscar called me.
"Hey, sugar princess. I've reached. Are you done with your shift?"
Hold on, Turtle Bear, I'll be done in 15 minutes. Love you. Bye. I reached the parking lot, and spotted his beautiful Ford. I sat in the seat next to him, and his chauffeur drove us off. I looked out of the window, when Oscar asked something I prepared myself for.
"Eloise, my darling, when are you going to introduce me to your family?"
Wow, Oscar, you know darn well about my family, but if you insist on meeting them, I'll take you to my place sometime, okay?
"I know it's hard for you, my dear, but they are your family, and they deserve to know about your big day."
I hate to admit it, but he's right. I don't know, sweetie. They barely care about me at all. They never dared to call, not even once.
Don't you worry your sexy little head, my little duckling, as long as I'm around, I won't let them hurt you no more. I promise.
Man oh man, do I love that guy.
Well, here we are, at the Dorsey Manor.
Oscar's family turns out to be the complete opposite of mine. Warm-hearted, friendly, and equally caring for their children.
I'm Arturo, Oscar's dad. Friends call me Artie.
I'm Shanda, Oscar's mom. My son told us how much of a lovely hard worker you are.
And I'm Priscilla, Oscar's little sister. I'm 18, and I'll be starting college next fall.
The Dorseys were elated, because they were pushing Oscar to get married for quite a while. The dinner went spectacularly. The food was made by the servants. And I learned a lot of interesting and shocking facts about Oscar's dad, Arturo. He and Casper are business rivals. And judging by their lifestyles, I'm sure he was beating Casper by a hair. After that's done, I bid my future in-laws farewell.
Don't hesitate to come back soon, so we could discuss ideas for your wedding.
Oscar, are you off next week?
But of course, Ellykins. What are you planning?
Oh darling. We're not going on a date this time. My family reunion starts next Thursday, and ends next Sunday. So it's the perfect chance for me to introduce you to my family.
I say it's a swell idea, milady.
With that, we said our goodnights, and hung up. The next week, we arrived at a national park, where the family reunion picnic took place. When Annette came out of nowhere and looked at us with suspicion.
Long time no see, Lena Hyena.
Oh, hey Nettie.
What are you doing here, huh? And what an expensive looking dress. Did you rob a bank or something? Ha 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 ha.
Glad to see you too. But I'm not here to listen to your BS. Now if you'll excuse us, we've got a family reunion to enjoy.
Hubba hubba, girl, who is this Greek god next to you? Hey there, Firestarter, how's about you ditch the ogre and let me show you a good time?
But unlike many guys she dated in the past, Oscar wasn't even fazed by Annette's flirtations. That made me do a victory dance on the inside. This is my fiancé, Oscar. AKA your soon-to-be stepbrother. So please behave yourself.
What? Seriously? You're engaged to this hunk of man?
That's what she said, isn't it?
Besides, we're also here to break the news to Mom and Dad, as well as the rest of the family. I showed Annette the engagement ring.
Outrageous. Utterly, utterly outrageous. How did you manage to get him? And as for you, how can you attempt to marry Eloise? She's not only ugly, but stupid and boring, plus useless to boot. But check me out. Despite being older than her by 5 years, I'm smarter, hotter, and so much more of a woman than Ellie ever was, and will be. So, if you toss that ugly girl aside and marry me instead, you'd be doing God a favor.
You, gross. Hell no. Stay the duck away from me. Eloise is the one I love, not you. And like we said, we're just here to enjoy the party we were formally invited to, and to break the engagement news to everyone. And most of all, we need to see your parents. Where are they anyways?
Ugh. How arrogant of you. But you know, it really suits your masterpiece of a face. And if you're asking about our parents, they got divorced a little while ago.
Divorced?
That's right. In the late 80s or early 90s, he was college soulmates with a woman named Muriel, and they were supposed to get married. But once Muriel found out that Dad has been seeing Mom behind her back for quite a while, she dumped him on the spot. And that's how Mom and Dad got married. But after Dad's business skyrocketed, Mom became a gold-digging spending freak the whole world knows. Dad couldn't stand her greediness and narcissism anymore, so he apologized to Muriel and begged her to take him back. And just as she was about to have second thoughts about dumping him in the first place.
Casper, my darling, guess what? I'm finally pregnant. From now on, we're gonna be parents. Isn't it exciting?
She was giving birth to me at the time. He had no choice but to take his responsibilities and support his new family. Anyways, now that us girls are all grown up, that gave him the perfect chance to end things with Mom once and for all. And you know what? Muriel finally forgave him, and now they live happily ever after. The end.
Wait, how did you get this information?
I stole Dad's diary before he moved out. Anyways, I highly doubt Eloise could be the perfect wife for you. She's always been the troubled child out of the two of us. As for me, I am the perfect little girl, and that's a fact.
Ha 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 ha. Dang, Eloise, your crazy sister's bold enough to assume that I care how perfect she thinks she is. Let's go.
As soon as we spotted Mom not too far away, we sat at her picnic spot. Instead of wearing her flashy clothes that she usually wear, she's in a casual attire. The minute she spotted us, she looked at us questionably.
Eloise? What's a piece of animal trash like you doing back in our lives?
We were stunned and ashamed of Mom's rude behavior.
And who's that guy with you?
That's Eloise's fiancé, Oscar.
Pleased to meet you, ma'am.
Fiancé, you say? You got a fiancé? You have really outdone yourself, sweetie. And as for you, Mr. Man, how come you're marrying a girl like her? Don't you know the meaning of taste, or class maybe? There are trillions of other pretty girls out there. Take my daughter, Annette, for example. She is way better than someone who has ever been my misfortune to know.
Oh my God. Just how much of a cunning lady are you? How dare you behave like that to Ellie? She's your freaking daughter, for crying out loud. She is much more beautiful than Annette, both inside and out, and she will be the perfect wife for me no matter how you look at it.
Mom and Annette were dumbfoundedly staring at Oscar. It seems like nobody has ever chosen me over Annette before.
Can't you see? She's an idiot. Always bringing shame and misfortune upon this family. We never saw her as a good daughter/sister, so we doubt that she'll ever satisfy you, no matter how hard she tries. And soon enough, your children will have all her awful genes. Ugly, stupid, and a total waste of everyone's time and space.
Wow. Just freaking wow. I've always wondered why I was related to those irredeemable demons in the first place. And by that time, Oscar got enraged.
Well, guess what? Annette told us all about how you took a man that didn't belong to you in the first place. Thank God your husband left you to live in HEA with her. That is all the more reason for you to realize what a failure of a woman you are.
Because of Oscar's loud voice, all the other relatives stopped what they're doing to see what's going on.
And furthermore, you're forgetting one simple detail. Eloise is your daughter. You have the same genes as her. Why am I even explaining this to you? It was you who's the failure. You failed to love, respect, and care for your daughter. And as for you, Little Miss Perfect, you're the real ogre here. Your parents must have loved and spoiled you too much. They never taught you any decency. And now, you're grown up to be a rude, selfish, and heartless opportunist. You've always been taking the sitch for granted by bullying and belittling your sister. But I'm here to put a complete end to it.
Then suddenly, the relatives joined Oscar in the lecture.
The boyfriend's right, unlike you two, Eloise is beautiful both inside and out.
I get that Hazel's a selfish, shameless, and spoiled bully, but this is too much.
You're a menace to society too, Annette. I'm super ashamed to have you as my cousin.
Pathetic losers like that are no relatives of ours.
But Mom and Annette are the kind of people who hates being stood up to, so they went crazy.
You stupid, impudent little shrew. How dare you speak to us like that?
Yeah. I'm trying to give you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to marry a hottie like moi.
Excuse me? You have any idea who I really am? I'm Oscar. Dorsey. Son of your ex-husband's biggest competitor.
What in the name of Dr. Scratch and Sniff?
Eloise Rachel Madison Farland. How could you betray us?
Yeah. And pretty soon, to my delight, I'll be Eloise, Rachel Madison, Dorsey. Isn't it great?
And to think I had a thing for you. Neither of us will forgive you guys for this.
You better be prepared for what happens next.
I'm sorry you have to go through all that BS, Ellie baby.
It's fine, my immediate family is always like this. With Annette and Hazel gone, we continue to enjoy our family reunion in peace. My relatives didn't care who his father is, they are very fond of Oscar, and are very happy that I was about to marry an outstanding guy like him. Before we knew it, we married and now we have a handsome baby boy named Bud. We woke up one morning to a lovely day. We were about to check on the little one like any good parent would. Oh dear God. Our baby. Our baby is gone. We checked the kitchen, the bathrooms, the living room, and even the music room in the basement. But there's no sign of Bud anywhere. We were about to give up until...
Telegram for the Dorseys.
I wonder who it's from.
Dear Lena Hyena, me and Mom have your baby. Send us $100,000 by the end of the week, or you'll never see him again. Jealously yours, Annette.
Ugh, those crazy ladies. They have gone way too far. I'm going to tear them limb from limb. But thanks to Oscar, I prevented from committing a crime of my own. Because he devised a wonderful plan to get back at those ugly loons, and of course, get our baby back for sure.
Come in.
All right, you two, we have your money. Now give us back the kid.
Yes. And about time too.
You know, Annette hates it when you have a happier ending than her. So this is the price for you to pay.
You ladies have the right to remain silent.
When the officer arrested the kidnappers, I felt a lot of satisfaction to see their defeat. After the two were taken away, we went upstairs to check for the baby. And lo and behold, we can hear him crying in Annette's closet. And so, for the first time in a week, I reunite with my buddy once more. I'm so sorry, Buddy Boo. We will never, ever, let anybody hurt you again. The trial was going smoothly, and they're obviously found guilty of kidnapping and child endangerment. As the psychotic mother-daughter pair were sentenced to several years in prison, they utter their last words to me and Oscar.
We hate the pair of you, and we regret absolutely nothing.
Remember to never be like those guys. Today, Buddy Boy is 6 years old and in first grade. After all that inhabited with Hazel and Annette, we decided to put him in martial arts classes, in order to learn self-defense. And he kept winning, black belt after black belt. He's a pro. Neither me, nor Oscar could ever be prouder of him in all of our lives. And you know what? I have my share of good news as well. I'm going to be having triplets.
Which means, I'm gonna be a big brother.
Oh Pumpkin, we always knew that you could do it. Now we're gonna be one big happy family, at last.
Don't worry, Mom. As soon as my brothers and our sisters were born, I will love and protect them with all my might.
Oh, thank you, my Buddy Boo, for being the perfect son and future older brother.